The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, the 2015 Bash for Cash and Smash It Demolition Derbies, Bull Lockwood Motorsports, and the 2015 Keystone National, Syopa Racing and SyopaRacing.com, and Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon. Welcome to episode number 77 of the Crash Course. We've got a full show on deck. We're going to be getting in touch with Ed Brewster here in just a few minutes from down in Virginia, where they do all sorts of RC Car Demolition Derbies and things like that. And at the back half of the show, we're going to get into a little bit of a conversation on who's going to walk away with a roof sign, a decal package, and all that other cool stuff from Smashed Empire, from Reckless Abandon, to take to Kings of Old School. Joining us here in studio tonight, we've got both Brian Tompkins and we've got Ben Host as well. Guys, thanks for coming in. We've been here for a little while as we were working through the last, whittling the list down a little ways so that we were ready to go for tonight. I'm anxious to get in touch with Ed Brewster here as well. He sent us a care package. This was interesting. I'll grab this thing out. Look at this. CRC car body.
The old General Lee.
Yep. Which I thought this was somewhat fitting.
Yeah.
Given this was somewhat fitting given that the Mikey and Dave Riddle, their team's the Good Old Boys.
Yeah.
And they run the orange and black color sometimes, and they had a really sharp looking Imperial that was F1 that Mikey took into the feature a couple years back, and it was all decked out. It had the Rebel flag on the roof and everything, and it was kind of cool to see that car come in, given some of the straights that our friend Mikey's been through here this off season.
Kind of looks like an old school GM metric car with the back end digging potatoes.
Yeah,
potato digger. Yeah, looked like Roscoe got a hold of that one a few times.
Yeah, it's not the healthiest. It's
No?
not the healthiest, but I mean the underside is really cool. Flip this thing over here.
I'll turn your camera on, buddy.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
I always need a producer.
No parking signs.
I like to help when I can.
It's made out of no parking signs.
Nice.
And it appears that the trunk lid on this one has been doubled.
Oh,
Cheating.
Giving away the secret, sir.
Yep.
That's what happens when the body's stronger than the frame. It bends down. At least that's what I've been told.
Anyway, you've never had that problem, have
There's
you?
all sorts of tricks for that.
The zip ties? You were talking about the zip ties?
Zip ties. I was online checking some videos, checking some stuff out, guys. Guys are really experimenting with zip ties. Whether that's common things you do. I mean, this is all new to me too. Kind of makes me scratch my head, but it's.
Can you imagine the RC car Ben's going to be building? He can't. He's looking at Derby 2016, but 2015 he could buy an RC car and build a nasty builder.
Yeah, I could get my hands on some real good epoxies and stuff.
Well,
We'll get some fire truck epoxy from Tim and Russ.
There you go.
When I was making the show post, I shared it on Pete Hansen's wall, and I was going to make a comment on there about imagine how great the RC car would be if you invested $27,000 in that. But then I was like, the war that would have kicked off, it's not anything we need to do. We don't need to do that.
You got to remember, we got an aluminum recycling plant
down
the street, so we could probably.
We know a supervisor there. We could probably get some nice aluminum scraps.
All you got to do is make a form. He'll pour one. We'll have a solid aluminum body, about a 1/4 inch thick.
That would definitely bend some stuff.
I would assume that you'll do okay in terms of damage.
Yeah.
But you're going to go around just at a crawl, and everybody's going to be able to tee off.
Just got to gear it up, man. Change the gears.
Gas motor RC.
If we're gonna do it, we're gonna got to cheat to eat, man. Got to cheat to eat.
Well,
I'm not bringing an RC car. I'm bringing a Traxxas.
We'll see if
got two of those.
We'll see if Guard or Redline build a RC motor.
This is all going downhill quickly.
I gotta before we get going, I gotta make a clarification. Last week, we're giving kudos to the guys at Razorback Rumble, and I made a mistake. I confused Zach and Jason Atkins that run guards. And Chris, I was saying Chris ran a guard motor. Chris does not run a guard motor. Chris runs, I'll quote, a grandpa's special. And let me tell you what, his grandpa knows his business when it comes to motors. And Chris was busting on me after the show, and we got laughing about it. But put it
Chris
up there.
Adkins.
Chris Atkins. Chris Atkins, yep. He runs a grandpa special, so grandpa made her to the top 7. at Razorback.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Which then brings us back to having 3 guard motors in the top 5 and
Yes,
4 in the top 7, which we talked about at length. We also need to clarify something. Tim asked if we would just make mention of this one more time. We might even get him on the phone a little bit later on, depending on how the schedule plays out. But the light trucks, Bash for Cash.
I thought it filled up.
No, it is. It is full.
But everybody's...
But everybody is upset that those guys that have entry spots aren't going to be able to run. The light trucks are happening this year. That was the point that I was trying to make last week. Not that the class was full, that there was a number of people that thought now that they weren't even going to get the chance to run because Bash for Cash has basically Tim and Russ are saying, put down the pitchforks and torches. It's okay. You're going to be able to run your light trucks, and next year we're going to transition out of the light trucks. But again, the goal. The goal to have all the divisions full, that definitely shook everybody that was on the fence off of it. And now every division's full. There's going to be 9,000 entries at Bash for Cash. That's facetious. Don't sue me over that. It's probably going to be close to. I think it's going to be pushing 600.
Yeah, I was going to say I think 600 was the number that Tim mentioned the other night when we talked to him.
Yeah, and then you've got to add in your lawnmowers and Power Wheels.
Yeah, the aerial picture this year will look nothing like what's on the internet now.
Yeah, be even more.
It'll look like, a big Barnum and Bailey rally going on in there. It'll be tents everywhere.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. We were talking at work today, and one of the guys that works with me was asking, where we're going and what we're doing. So I said, we're going to Owenson's coming up quick, and then shortly after that, it's Bash and a couple of bow shows down in PA. Mm-hmm. Got some King's Old School going.
Yeah, Bash for Cash is definitely the stellar event, and Bo's backing it up.
Absolutely.
And I know, I think it was John Peck. He just got done having a show down down
the first
south.
one, yeah.
Well, somebody happened to walk away with his overalls.
No, that was Chris Pauly.
Chris Pauly.
Yeah.
Well,
how do you spell Josh's last name?
Decker. Everything okay over there, Chris?
HRLE. And that's Jeff, Jeff.
Yeah.
Josh. Okay.
He's getting the media section down.
He's doing the producer work.
There we go.
So, we should have everybody back now. Are we good?
Okay.
Yeah,
we're here.
All right, great. This is Ed Brewster joining us on the phone from JMW Motorsports. He's also got Josh. You said it was Farrell? Farrell. Josh Farrell joining us as well. He's one of the drivers from down there at the park where the RC Derbies happen. Which, when I first heard about this, I thought that it was crazy. But then you think about Demolition Derby, and nothing's out of touch, really.
No.
Nothing. There's not anything that an adult can't find a way to destroy.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us a little bit.
Thank you for having us on the show.
You bet. And that's Ed that's talking there. Ed was the guy that was pictured in the show post. Thanks a lot for this body. This is cool.
Yeah, that's Josh Farrell's creation. Yeah, just a little background on that body. We went to Monster Jam here in Richmond, Virginia for one of their shows, and they let us go out there with the RC cars. So I said, well, why not build the General Lee body and jump it off the biggest jump out there that the monster trucks hit.
Nice.
Good decision.
Yep.
Now, has this body ever actually been through a derby?
North Carolina too, so that truck's been through a beating.
Nice.
So how do you get to the point of being able to smash the RC car? I mean, we learned a little bit just by looking at the body. We saw the for sale sign and the aluminum flashing body components, but I mean, to get the cars to bend and things like that, take us through what the process is.
Go ahead, Josh. You throwing that to me. Well, I think it basically boils down to where and how this started. I ran Demolition Derby for the past 10 years, and I got married and got a 14-month little girl now, and the wife said, "I'm sorry, you can't do Demolition Derby no more unless you get $1 million life insurance policy." So
Wow.
I was like, how am I gonna well, what am I going to do to get some smash time in? And I started looking around on the internet, researching RC Demolition Derby. Didn't really find much, and I was like, you know what? I got a couple for sale signs, a rivet gun. Let me just find a picture. I found a picture of a Caprice on the laptop, and I blew it up and traced it out, outlined it, and I mean, what you got is what in front of you is what I make.
Nice.
It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, but man, $1 million life insurance policy. I thought I had it bad with $250,000, but man.
But if I understand, if I understand what Josh just said correctly, his wife can be credited with creating RC Demolition Derby.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely sounds that way.
There you go. Pushed it to go that way.
When he showed up that morning with that car, I'm like, man, what in the heck are we going to do with this, And he says, DeMoo Derby. And I'm like, nah, I don't know, man. And as I got to thinking about it from the driver's standpoint, I was like, heck yeah, man, this is going to be an assload of fun. We got to go with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, just think back. I mean, look at how the shit ton of Matchbox cars we used to smash.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? now you're putting motors and remote controls behind it. How much fun can that be?
That's awesome. I'd actually seen I'd seen one. I assume it was one of your guys' videos back in January, I think it was, and early February. I said something to Chris. He's like, "Yeah, that sounds good." And we've just kind of been busy ever since. But it's good to get you guys on. I mean, it's just the coolest thing. I mean, I would absolutely love to do something like that. It just seems like such a good time.
So are you limited on what materials you can use to build the bodies, or because my mind's rolling already. I mean,
we kind of got a rough rules right now. Come 2016, there will be established what you can and cannot use. The rules will be much stricter.
Right.
But as of right now, we're just trying to promote it. We're trying to have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to spread it across the United States. And pretty much when people ask what kind of metal to use, I just say, for sale signs, no trespassing signs, something lightweight aluminum that bends real easy.
There we go.
The thing you got to keep in your mind is it's about how it bends in the realism of how it looks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You go out there with a diamond-plated steel body, but what fun are you having?
Right.
Don't show up with a chunk of metal with 4 wheels on it.
Well, that just took bite out of it. That's too bad.
No, aluminum bends. I'll just make a mold and make it, instead of 1/4-inch stick, I'll make it like a 1/16 or an 1/8-inch stick. It'll bend.
Yeah, everything
I've been
hits.
doing research. I've been trying to find somebody that could do that, but I haven't been successful.
We got aluminum recycling plant. You could probably hit it with a paintball gun from here.
Yeah. That's where all of the aluminum comes from. For the Ford truck frames is right here in Seneca Falls at the recycling plant. Yeah, Scepter. That is awesome. That's definitely
cool.
That's a very cool thing. If I was you guys, I would try to get a hold of some of the bigger promoters and be like, hey, look, can we come put on a little demonstration before one of the derbies? I mean, I think people would love that. I mean, I think that's one of those things where people could get right into it and
indoor shows.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're getting requests now to come to some of the county fairs and do demonstrations now, and it's just really spreading like wildfire.
That's awesome.
Can you run gas motors in them?
Right. Not yet. I mean, it's kind of open. We wouldn't stop someone to come in with one.
Right.
But we're leaning more towards the electric side of things.
Okay.
It's cheaper. We tell everybody just, when someone asks me, what kind of RC should I use? I just tell them 2-wheel drive, electric slash.
Yep.
You can get parts for it all day long, and they're easy to take care of. And in actuality, you really don't break that many chassis parts. You might break a spindle here. You might, bend your bumper up a little bit, but the body takes most of the toll. And
So you guys aren't going out and buying brand new Traxxas RC cars to do this?
The guys from North Carolina that run with us, when they come up and saw it, they went out and bought brand new trucks to run.
Yeah.
Nice.
And a whole bunch of zip ties.
Yeah, the zip ties part of it is pretty interesting to me.
I seen some pictures.
How they're doing all the reinforcement and stuff, and helping stuff make it a little bit harder.
Very cool.
What's getting great about this is how it's spreading around. We've got 6 chapters running DeMoo now. We got Illinois, Iowa, 2 in Ohio, Northern Ohio, Southern Ohio, North Carolina, and us. Is that it? Yeah, does that cover everybody? Yeah.
It's kind of neat how it migrates to Ohio, Illinois, Iowa. Kind of goes right through the Derby hotspots. I like that. That's awesome.
Right to the central hub, but it's pretty cool because you put in a comparison. For a price of a New York or Broome bumper, you could have a car.
New York on board.
Absolutely, we need to get some New York on board.
Word, man. We need some DeMoo in New York.
All right, we'll talk.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we do have all these chapters all together, and we do have the East Coast Championship that's on the line this year. So Ed could tell you a little more about that. Well, we got these chapters out here. We'll be able to bring their winners, which will qualify for the East Coast Championship. And it looks like at this point we're still dragging in sponsors and so forth. That we got $600 to $800 in cash and prizes so far.
That's cool.
Nice.
Bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I asked for taking an RC car and beating the heck out the next guy.
Exactly.
Now, what are some of the rules? I mean, like, how is a car knocked out? When are you out? How exactly is the Derby run?
Okay, our DeMoo rinks are usually standard size, around 20 by 20, and I think they're roughly about 6 inches in height. So our rules here, like if you get hit and your car is bobbling on the wall, if the wheels are touching the inside of the rink, you're still in play. You could get knocked back in the game. If you're on the wall and your wheels are outside the rink, you're out of it right there. And of course, if you're upside down, you've had it. So it's kind of not a whole lot more than that. Yeah, and
that's cool.
We've had a lot of issues. The start of a lot of our derbies, we would kick the cars back in the ring and and try to keep everybody having fun. But the biggest issue is you're taking what's almost about 6 pounds of, if you think about it, 6 pounds of aluminum because you count the chassis, and it's being thrown at you. I mean, I can tell you right now, the one I run, it's capable of 70 miles an hour. So if someone puts their finger down there, aluminum slices it right off. So we really try to enforce, no one to touch the cars at all times. If the car does come out of the ring, that it needs to be flipped upside down so someone doesn't get trigger happy and hit the audience and slice their shin open or something. Yeah, that's my job. I hadn't lost a finger yet.
Now, is there like you guys have a site or anything that somebody could go to check out the rules and stuff and how you build specs or whatever?
That's where the original video came from.
Yeah, the DeMoo Derby sponsored by KOW RC Facebook page.
Okay.
And heck, while we're talking about KOW, man, big sponsor for us.
Cool.
Al jumped on board with us. It was kind of a wild story. Josh brought the car, and I was like, what the hell are we going to do with it? And as we tried to put the Derby together, I kept going into this with, man, we need a sponsor, but I just, I don't know who to get to sponsor this. So we put it out there, and in about 20 minutes, Keith was on me on the message. He had already been a sponsor of the park for about a year. And he says, man, call it the DeMoo Derby, and I'll sponsor the whole deal.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
No, he's helped us out tremendously with prizes, with everything. The man's a big fan of it. He's really ecstatic of it.
I like how everybody just jumped on their cell phones and started looking up DeMoo Derby.
Going the circuit now. I mean to tell you, he's really given us a boost and just tremendous help. Can't say more.
And you guys are down in Midlothian, Virginia, right?
Right, yeah. We're located actually inside of a real racetrack, Southside Speedway. And my family's owned and run that since the 50s. And we brought the RC racing to it about 4 years ago.
And if you take a look at it, JMW Motorsports Incorporated, the RC track, they've got their own Facebook page. They've got tons of videos, and they do all sorts of crazy stuff out there. It's not just RC demo and RC racing. You guys had a monster truck competition out there not that long ago. Well, at least you're trying to. The weather hasn't been that cooperative.
We got a big event coming up here soon. Our good friends with Showtime RC Motorsports putting on the Solid Axle Showdown. And that's actually going to be our season opener for our DeMoo Derby as well.
Awesome.
How many shows have you got planned for this year?
Oh, man, we got a lot of stuff planned for this year. One thing we'll go ahead and break here that nobody really, knows about it except Heath, myself, and Josh is DeMoo Nationals in July.
Cool.
Okay. Tell us more about that.
The DeMoo Nationals, it's just going to be open and invitational to all our charter members and other people that want to get in it. And if you get some wins in there, you'll get qualified automatically for the East Coast Championship. And should be some great prizes at the Nationals as well. We're still working on it. All this stuff is like a brand new baby, and we got to learn how to change the diaper on it.
That's awesome. That's a great way of putting it.
The DeMoo Nationals, that's, more or less, that's the Daytona, 500 of RC Derby, and that's what we're trying to put out there. This is the Nationals is, the one you want to win. So,
are you concerned at all with it being in July? I mean, being that that's the heart of full-size Demolition Derby season, is it going to be tough to get people to come from some of your other charter locations to come out to Virginia for that show?
Well, like we said, it's kind of a brand new baby. So, the attention we've been drawing here lately, and hopefully the attention we'll get off of this evening, hopefully we'll blow the house out.
Because I'd love to get down there to see it. I think
that would be awesome.
I think it's pretty cool.
And I want Ben to build me a body.
I think. Well, I think.
Well, if one of y'all come down here, Josh will build you a car. I'll put a chassis under it with that controller in your hand.
Well, I think Ben and I made eye contact a couple, 2-3 times, and we're thinking the exact same things. Is there's enough Imperials laying around where we can get a scale replica of that Imperial without a problem?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look at
Get some old school Imperial steel off it.
Ben's not even joking either. He's straight. He's like, I'm gonna win this.
No, I think it's cool because you're not really age limited. You know
No,
what I mean?
not at all.
You could have a 13-year-old kid come kick the shit out of a bunch of 30-year-old men. You know what I mean? Because
to let you in on the age thing a little bit, we went down to North Carolina, a month ago?
Yeah.
About a month ago to run one of their derbies, and they did a big money event. I think it was $200-some up for grabs.
Which is more than most of the derbies in Virginia pay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Most of the younger kids. I mean, even my son's 15, but even younger kids. I mean, 12, 13-year-old kids. You put a remote control in their hand,
they're good.
They're going to school you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've had a couple of real young ones win at JMW.
Yep.
I mean, they just come out of nowhere, man, and they're standing.
Oh, I think that's awesome, though.
Have they got the homemade bodies and everything? Or are they running plastic bodies?
No, it's all the metal body. Yeah, it's all aluminum bodies.
Yeah. That's cool.
Man, the wheels are
turning.
turning.
We're having a
pretty
great
bad, right?
time with this, man. I mean to tell you, promoter standpoint, now it's great. It wasn't at first.
Yeah.
Driver standpoint, you just knew it was going to be, unreal all the way.
So the goal is to be the last driver running in the ring. That's just like with Demolition Derby, and the goal is to put all the other entries out over the wall.
Or flip
them
over.
Or
flip them over.
We try to keep the rules as simple as the real deal that, the real cars run. Last man running.
You know what would be great is if you put a provision in the rules where you had to do something so that the front spindles were a little weaker on anybody that wanted to do a Vic.
Look, all you have to do is just make the rules where we run in about 20-degree weather, then you'll see plastic brakes.
Yes, do that.
That's where all the aluminum chassis see. You get into titanium parts and aluminum parts.
Ben, if we're talking scale replicas, a true scale replica would be 1/8 or 1/12 the size of real, and in turn it would also be 1/8 or 1/12 the size of weight. So again, going back towards this imperial thing.
I work where we do our own galvanizing, so I have all the access to zinc, which is dense like lead.
Okay.
There is a rule that it cannot weigh no more than 7 pounds.
Oh, that's no fun.
There we go.
We're going to come down with a 30-pound RC car and start killing stuff.
But to let you on in a little secret, we haven't said much about. I think I might have put it out on book that we are thinking in the future of running like an unlimited class or an outlaw class where pretty much
where the diamond plate bodies can run
with anything.
That's awesome.
Ben?
That's more rules to figure out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the way you guys got it now, I mean, it's
Very cool.
pretty, very, very economical and a lot of fun. And the most bang for your buck, really.
Absolutely.
So, what's the premier chassis at this point? I mean, there's got to be one chassis, or there's got to be at least some tip of the cards that we got to get out of this, so that we know what we're looking for. Because I'm pretty confident that we can't go to Walmart and find a 2-wheel drive car that's going to be the same as the 2-wheel drive car that body was on top of.
I'll tell you the best way to go because it's what I run. It's the LCG Traxxas chassis.
That's LCG.
LCG. It's the low center of gravity chassis.
Yeah.
It puts the chassis as lowest to the ground as possible.
Listen, I'm the one taking notes here. Stop saying all that.
It's all right. Same concept. Bulldog to backs down.
With the tire rule, we're going to put some big ass tires on.
That's great.
Ben, what you need? You need to get
tires.
one of those chassis. You need to get the front end and cut out as much of it as you can and replace all of it with tin, so that when you do nose with it, eventually the nose starts standing up.
My wheels, I already have. Now, when I designed the bodies and we started running around, we didn't know much about how they crunch up. Especially in the real derby world, you can manipulate. You strut towers and everything where you get the frame where you can get it to fold where you want it to.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much in this, you really can't get it to start going where you want it to right at the start.
Really?
If you go on the Facebook, on the DeMoo Derby page, you'll see a neon green car that looks like it went through World War II. That's my car. And the only reason I got it to start bending like the real deal is just time over time, just manipulating the body by bending it with my fingers. Just that's the only way I could get it to look more and more real. A lot of guys, they're like, well, I'm going to run a new body every derby. There's really no benefit to it. It's more about having fun and making it look, as real as possible.
It's incorporating full-size car builds to RC cars.
Absolutely.
Body line enhancement.
I was just going to say, what's your rule on body line?
Yeah, they're all laughing.
This is great.
You're all laughing.
Can you pee in the quarters on these?
Yeah.
This is.
We've had questions coming in. I think it's bead roll and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually got guys. Some guys that were going to the derbies bead rolling their bodies.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Just like creasing.
It's just,
Yep.
we're trying to promote this to have fun. Like you were saying earlier, it's economical. That's what we want. Go to the hardware store, pick you up I think it takes about 7 signs. A pop rivet gun and a whole mess of rivets.
So we need 14.
That's what we want to keep it to.
So
The
14.
rivet, you can get your front end knocked off in one round and a couple of rivets back in the game.
Yeah. So 14 signs, some industrial half-inch rivets. We got you.
This is awesome. This is what old derby drivers can do when when the body hurts too much to get in the car anymore.
I could have been sitting home.
You could have been building these since December.
Since back surgery, I could have been building
Ben,
one of these.
Ben, what are you doing tomorrow? Are you around tomorrow, or you still off?
Yeah, I'm off. I'll be going to Walmart buying a whole bunch of for sale signs probably.
No. First thing, you got to start with the frame.
I'll save you some time. Walmart don't sell aluminum for sale signs.
They don't. They
want plastic ones.
Well,
they sell the big ones around here. They sell the big ones that are metal, but not the small ones like what's there.
That's what Lowe's probably.
But
I haven't seen
what the
that.
heck?
Go ahead.
What are you doing? Anyway, was hoping that Ben was going to be around. I assume that you have to work, but we could take it right up to Dan's Crafts and things. I know where we can get these. Yeah, we need to.
We'll have to go for a ride because I also work at a place that manufactures and installs guide rail and sign systems. So, the big signs you see going down the highway overhead that are made out of aluminum? Yeah, I got access to all that.
But again, 7-pound weight limit.
That's all right. I can shave and trim.
Absolutely.
My unlimited class.
Yeah. My uncle races sprint cars too, so I know how to shave weight.
Just to put it out there to you and the listeners, I do build bodies. I sell them for $35 a piece plus shipping.
Nice.
I even go the extra step and I'll paint them up whatever way you want them. I've been sending, making them and shipping them out all over. I've sent them to
That's so cool.
Wisconsin, Texas. I mean, all over the place.
That's awesome.
Are you changing out the wheels and tires?
What's that?
Are you changing out wheels and tires?
Come 2016, there's going to be a tire rule, but for now, it's all open, kind of.
Yeah.
As long as you're not going ridiculous like with monster truck tires or something.
Yeah. So Ben, could you make a 75 Impala bumper to mount on the front of?
Yeah.
Good.
It'd be New York or Broome bumper.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Must have put a pointy on
Broome
it.
Bumper. What's the?
My wife wanted a front end loader on her. She's going to run her first Derby April 11th.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's cool.
I like it.
Now, bumpers, is there a specification on bumper material, or it has to be plastic, or can it be, you know what I mean? Just
it's very out there right now.
Right.
When I built the bodies, I was using when you go to strip your derby cars, get them ready, especially like an old LTD wagon, got the old luggage rack on top of the roof.
Yep.
You got some chrome strips that protect the luggage from scraping the paint.
Yep.
I took them and used them as bumpers.
Mm-hmm.
But then after a couple months, I found even a better material. If you take the aluminum curtain rods, they look like bumpers once you cut them.
Yep.
The length.
Yep.
Yeah, you need to make one for my truck, man. I'm missing my bumper.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we just try to keep the materials lightweight, like I said, to bend up, to have fun and make it look as real as possible.
Exactly.
With the look, this body that we have here, that's the one that went off the big ramp at the Monster Jam show.
Mm-hmm.
But the bodies actually do take damage and the frames do move,
Mm-hmm.
which is what surprised me the most. Can you make your own frame for one of these, provided it's within the weight restrictions?
I don't think I'd be able to. It'd be overweight.
Yeah.
Like we have some guys, they're trying to build it using rock crawler chassis, and rock crawler chassis is almost like a real car chassis, 2 frame rails.
Right.
But,
Interesting.
The weight thing is really what's going to get you. I mean, that's what brings reels everybody into a common.
That's cool too, though. I mean, you can keep it under control that way. That's a good idea. I like that.
Because that blew half my ideas out of the water.
I like the idea of modifying the plastic floor plan that exists and building the rails out the front and mounting your bumper on that, and then you can it would actually go up.
But the thing is, though, is with it not being the molded plastic, you would lose rigidity and stuff like that.
No, I'd call Ben.
y'all guys are going to make me have to come up with all kinds of rules.
Well, if you got bodies, you're in Ohio and all that, you got to come up with some.
Oh, yeah.
You got to come up with some rules with them guys.
Yeah, obviously you guys have. If they build RC cars in Ohio like they build Derby cars, it's the Ohio build. You build and then cut what they tell you to cut is how stuff gets done out there. So RC cars, I'm guessing, are going to be close to the same way.
Going to an RC Derby with a half-inch hole saw drill trying to shave weight.
Bunch of X-Acto knives.
Yeah.
I could just imagine you go through inspection and they put it on the scale to see how much it weighs, and they're like, "This weighs 9 pounds." You're like, "Wow, it's a lot lighter than I thought."
North Carolina to Ohio to Illinois.
Yeah.
It's really cool seeing all the different styles of bodies they're coming up with.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what do you got to do to open a chapter?
Just give me a call.
Okay.
Right on Facebook. Tell me you want to run some DeMoo Derby.
What do you do?
We'll get you hooked up. My man Cal, he's RC. He'll get you all set up. And all you got to do then is build them and bash them.
Because I don't know what your schedule's like. I've got nothing on my plate between 2 and 4 a.m. and I'm looking to pick up a hobby.
Chris, wait a minute. Let me get this out there in the public. Are you saying?
Hey,
Are you?
I mean, people have been hitting me up 2 and 3 a.m. and stuff.
Oh, good.
About car bodies.
All right, that's
stuff.
Jeez.
Man, I don't know. It's good, but it's getting hectic. But I love it.
You got to look at it too. Around here years ago, and not too long ago, and it might even still be the same way. But I'm saying like 4 or 5 years ago, there was a big RC racing following.
Oh yeah,
huge.
And it was huge.
Oh, yeah.
So something like this, I mean,
I got a lot of antiquated RC equipment at home.
Yeah. Well, Tony Stewart used to own part of an RC company.
I don't remember.
Not Dirtworks. Can't remember the name of it, but Kevin Ridley.
Custom Works RC.
Yeah, Custom Works RC. Kevin Ridley used to run. A guy from up this way that runs Sportsman now. He used to go down. I think it was down to Virginia, and they had like a big national event down there that Custom Works put on. And he'd go down there and race against. It was after the last race of the season, and Tony Stewart would be standing there up on the tower with everybody running RC cars.
wrecking shit.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was.
Well, I don't know if they were derbying, but
No, they were
Oh,
racing.
he was.
But yeah, Kevin got to be real good friends with Tony Stewart by doing that.
that's
Nice.
so cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. After watching this Martinsville race, I think a lot of them drivers need to get some derby. RC.
They've been watching too many videos.
Absolutely. There was some chrome horns handing out down there.
Yeah, they were handing out all right.
Yeah.
But back to the point. I mean, Chris Marquardt, are you ready to throw your hat into the driving ring and then enter the RC Derby
It
world?
would be the closest I'm coming, I think.
I mean, that would be like, I mean, front page of the magazine. I mean, on Smashed
you
Empire
what.
Films, Chris Marquardt in the driver's seat.
I think we could probably put together some pretty sweet decal packages.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
Roof signs.
Yeah, I'm thinking roof signs for these things on the scale size.
Well, the nice thing is if you
I'm thinking there's a lot of fun for that off season outside of the
absolutely.
outside.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
coming up pretty much. This is the wrong time of year to be starting this conversation. But if
Yeah.
we can get the groundwork laid
January
out,
and February, and there's nothing going on, that would be
we
awesome.
can all go over to Brian's basement. And,
Absolutely.
and
We'll find a gym somewhere and wreck stuff.
yeah, Ron.
Get in it, Chris. You've already got a body, man. The General Lee, tear it up, bro.
Absolutely. That's
We can
awesome.
modify that.
Absolutely.
Can you wedge stuff? Wait a minute.
These-
Can you wedge a body?
I've been trying. I haven't been able to successfully do it.
All I need is a yes or no.
Man, imagine putting a wedge on one of those.
Wedge in between two other ones, you know.
I'm just thinking that you put a wedge on the back of one of those things at 60 miles an hour.
Stuff's going to fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We ain't building battle box here.
A
We're on our way, though.
A wedge is nothing. I mean, that's just a matter. Basically, you take that 4-cell sign and you slope it down to the back and fold the quarter panels over the top of it, and you got a wedge.
Well, you're missing the point. He wants him to bend, Chris.
Yeah, he wants him to bend.
You want it realistic.
Quit!
What I heard.
Quit building a '90s tilted Vic,
right.
Marquardt. Calm
Fair
down.
enough. Fair
Calm down. We're going old school.
You know, a well-built. You know, I heard.
67 Imperial.
I
There you
read.
go.
I read online that a well-built Crown Vic will junk an Imperial.
With a good builder and a good driver, I read the same thing. You know,
I don't know. We're getting off.
yeah, off the tangent.
Yeah.
Guys, before we let you go, it's been a ton of fun. I'm looking
Absolutely.
forward to
Yeah,
more of this. This is
Yeah, that's
this is
awesome.
something that I got to believe that there's a lot of people that are going to be getting interested in this in a hurry.
Yeah, for sure. And we will do everything we can to get your word out because this is definitely awesome and something great for the Derby world.
This is right in Brian Tompkins' build budget. I don't know if you picked up on this.
I'm just looking at the fact that
You're
I'm
good
getting.
with the wife because it's just a couple $100. It's not a few thousand. And what's really different about it though is when we first opened JMW, you see everybody coming out there. Don't hit my car, don't hit my car. Well, now we're bringing them and throwing them in the ring and telling them to bash them.
Yeah.
But it's just pretty wild, and we're loving it, man.
I'm impressed. Very impressed.
Very cool.
Yeah, this
Very
is
awesome
wild.
idea. Very cool.
This sparked a
Yeah, thank your wife for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because if it wasn't for her,
And that $1 million life insurance policy.
Yeah.
That's
No,
cool.
out of all seriousness, y'all, when y'all on the Derby off season, get with us, come up here. We'll get you squared away, get you running some of these derbies with us.
We'll be bringing
That
our
would
own.
be cool.
So you know.
That would be cool.
We'll be bringing our own. We'll tow these RC cars all the way down from New York and get trailered.
That's great.
That would be outstanding. Yeah, you can't run it. Figured.
All right, well, we'll just hang out and watch. It's cool.
Awesome. Anybody that you guys want to make mention of before we let you go?
Yeah, man, I would really like to mention my sponsor, which is 505 RC. I told you I should like this. Where are my sponsors? Here, we got Fatback Racing, First Priority Restoration. We got Showtime RC Motorsports, and, of course, the premier sponsor for us, KooS RC.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been a ton of fun talking with you.
Absolutely.
We're looking forward. We'll be having a conversation again, and please keep in touch.
Would be half a promoter if I didn't push in here. Yeah, I'm looking for sponsors, so anybody interested, man, we can use it. Hit us up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll put the word out for you.
Thank you, sir.
Again, there's Ed Brewster and Josh. I'm going to butcher your name again.
Farrell.
I think I got it that time. Thanks for joining us here, man. I appreciate it. And again, thanks a lot for the body on that car. That's cool.
It's
Made a good
awesome.
showpiece.
Great, man. Appreciate you having us on the show and spreading the word for us.
No problem at all. Thanks again.
Have a good one.
All right.
We'll see you guys later. And there goes Ed and Josh from JMW-COW
That is
and
awesome.
DeMoo RC Derbies and yeah, if I have to.
Dude, I just found a new hobby, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby, but it's gonna be a fun one. Like to make mention of a couple trips that we're talking about. They mentioned the 11th. We've got stuff to do on the 11th coming up here pretty soon. Owenton Spring National is coming up really, really, really quick. We got about 11 days now before we're going to be down there in Owenton, Kentucky on the 10th. It's the 1,200 to win windshield class. April 11th, the modified. 7,000 to win. $12,500 purse. John Peck and Top Dog Promotions overseeing that one. 859-393-8693. They're on Facebook. Look up Top Dog Promotions. They had a show here Saturday, on the 28th, and Chris Polly, I believe he had some of his gear stolen, which was
His
way
overalls.
lame. Yeah, his overalls were thieved.
Size medium.
That's terrible. And then Albert Lee coming up just a short couple weeks after that, up in Minnesota, the 4,000 to win. 80s chain class, 3,000 win Imperial class. Still haven't gotten official word if TJ McPhee is going to be making the drive up there to wheel one of the Stan Bandhouse Imperials. Waiting to get final word back and forth on that. Paul Nielsen and Matt Ertman. We got to get those guys back on here pretty soon. Talk a little bit more about how that show's developing. I think that's going to be happening next week. $26,000 in prize money paid out in one day. Paul Nielsen, Matt Ertman. Again, on Facebook. You can find them on their Facebook group. Just go look up the Crossroads of Destruction. It's been a fast show. I can't believe how fast the show's been going so far. Let's take a quick peek at some more folks that we've made mention of. Let's start here with the Bash for Cash. We'll be right back after this.
And you thought last year was huge. The Bash for Cash returns to the Demolition Derby Limelight Memorial Day weekend 2015. Every bit of action is returning, and there's some more added in. DerbyParts.com is back with the 80s newer class, paying $11,000 to win. DerbyTees.com is back, paying the turn back the clock winner $10,000. And now the Compacts are cashing in, vying for at least $3,000 in their championship event. Action is planned for May 23rd and 24th, again at the Fayette County Fairgrounds in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Early inspections are planned for Friday, May 22nd. For a full rundown of the schedule and divisions, visit www.smashitderby.com. Travel back to the good old days of Demolition Derby at the 2015 Kings of Old School, presented by Goodies Graphics and GN Auto Corp. The Kings of Old School will be held June 6th at the Broome County Fairgrounds in Whitney Point, New York. The Old School class is drawing drivers from across the United States, with new drivers signing up and past champions coming out of retirement to take part in the show, with rules written the way the Northeast Derby community wants them to be. The headline Old School class will pay $22.50 to win and will be run in a heats and feature format. The 80s newer kids class filled in less than 6 hours once registration opened. The winners in the division will enjoy a share of a $3,000 purse. The
card also includes compacts and junk run divisions. Inspection opens at 8 a.m. Derby action begins at 2. Call Brett Relier at 607-327-2705 or Josh Decker at 607-725-2194 for details. With rule questions, call Mark Benjamin at 607-215-2149. That's the Kings of Old School, June 6th, Broome County Fairgrounds, Whitney Point, New York. Are you good enough to be recognized as a reckless warrior? Bo Lockwood Motorsports' 2015 Demolition Derby schedule will now be combined into the Reckless Warrior Tour, designed to give rewards and recognition to drivers that support Bo Lockwood Motorsports. The schedule starts at the 5,000 to Win Superstock Championships May 9th at the Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Brookville, Pennsylvania. The tour then goes to the Keystone Nationals, which has moved to the Westmoreland County Fairgrounds June 27th. The Jefferson County Fair Championships follows, with the limited road cars back in the limelight as they chase a $3,000 payday in Brookville, with the Reckoning 2 following on August 1st at the Clarion County Fairgrounds in Clarion, Pennsylvania. The series finishes with the final encounter September 4th and 5th at the Stoneborough County Fair. In all, there is more than $75,000 in prize money available among the 6 shows and features some of the largest purses in the Keystone State. Drivers will earn points based on their feature appearances and heat and feature finishes, with bonuses awarded for passing inspection and getting a stick on the first try. The season will end with a points banquet where Bo Lockwood Motorsports will crown the deadliest warrior. That driver will then have his selection of one of the 10 prizes from the Reckless Warrior partners. For more details on the 2015 Reckless Warriors Tour, visit their Facebook page and check out blmotorsports.net. So I just got a note on Facebook. Chris Polly's watching.
Pork chop.
I don't think.
I was just quoting Josh Decker's quote online.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going with it. And he's a big dude that I don't really want to upset, so we're gonna go ahead and put a fork in all references to that. Saw a clip of Mike Martini on that show there. He was in the gray number 33 Mopar. Just finished his shirts this week, along with Travis Charleston. All that stuff is being sent off, and I'm flooding the inboxes of the people that are in charge of digitization and ultimately getting stuff printed. And there's another 40 jobs in line in front of all the stuff that I'm sending to them. So it's we're keeping everybody out in that neck of the woods plenty busy with the development of the new content and new apparel lines and stuff like that. On the topic of Reckless Abandon Apparel, they are among the sponsors of the Kings of Old School entry contest, which so many people this week have messaged me about the outcome of, which we have finalized. We've got the conversations down, and we selected a winner here while we were finishing the advertisements and just made our final notes on all that stuff, and we can reveal that stuff. First, I think it's worthwhile to make an honorable mention of a couple. Oh, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Welcoming to the show for the first time this week and through the balance of the calendar year on the weekly program, we have Demolition Derby group, Kaiser Manufacturing. And,
cool.
And their demo derby line is going to be on the show. Their graphics are going to be up there. We're going to have all sorts of talking points and stuff. And I'm trying to get one of them to come on, but they're pretty busy too. So but those guys are tuning in for the first time. They didn't really know a whole lot about how the podcast worked, but they've been directed to the magazine.
Cool.
And some folks that they had crossed paths with, I believe, if the story was right, was in Pennsylvania. They mentioned the podcast and asked more questions about that and asked if there was any opportunities available. And I said, why not?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So those guys are on board, and we'll have their logos showing up on all the graphics and stuff like that. So
your graphic guy's working on that now?
Nope, because he's hosting a podcast right now.
Just checking.
Nope, that's why. But
you just had a commercial.
Yeah, what were you doing then?
What was I doing? I was getting all the emails and stuff lined up so that we could go through some of this Kings of Old School entry stuff. Somebody's going to walk away with a roof sign, graphics package, door numbers, and then some apparel. And it's going to be really cool. We had about 50 entries. A couple of them were outstanding. A couple of them were terrible. Josh Buell would be the terrible one that I'm talking about. Number one, I'm cooler than Josh Decker. Number two, he just had this laundry list, and then his last one was, you should give it to somebody else who actually is going to be able to put it to you. So I thought that was really cool of him. Mm-hmm. On the topic of cool ones, Mike DeFrecia
wrote without a doubt.
Absolutely the best entry that was turned in. Mike DeFrecia, I don't think there's any way that we could argue against him probably being the winner. But the last line of his submission said, "And do me a favor and give this to somebody else." I thought that was really
awesome.
Cool of him.
Yep.
And he talked about his family and running with his kids and taking care of other guys that are in and around him and giving away cars, and his appreciation. A long time in Demolition Derby. It was a really good submission.
Awesome submission.
Remarkable submission, and unfortunately,
and you know
I
what?
guess fortunately for somebody else, is he said, "Don't give it to me."
And you know what? Is the thing is, I mean, if he just wrote that, I mean that would be an article in the magazine. I mean that was such a well written, and I mean, just the stuff he mentioned
put a lot of thought into
and the
that.
stuff he talked about. I mean that, and I mean, maybe with his, I don't know, probably not. He probably wouldn't want it publicized, but I mean, just it was awesome. I mean, all three of us were blown away by it.
It was
hats off to Mike and that entry, and to say, hey, go ahead and give it to somebody else. That's great, but that was an amazing entry, and Mike, you. Very, very impressive, buddy. Very impressive.
Another impressive one was Todd Heights. Todd Height started his on a light note when he said, if I won this based on looks alone, if this was awarded based on looks alone, I would win hands down.
and this is the thing, is that Chris is the only one that knew who any of these entries were. Yeah. Chris never told us who any of them were.
No, not until right now.
Yeah, right now is when we're finding out who they are.
Mike Smith sent one in, which I thought was really cool. He talked about winning at Broome County and running and finishing in the money at that 2001 Compact show. And a lot of good things coming together. And then the last line of it was, another reason I should win this is because I make a hobby out of junking Guy Raymond's cars. which I thought, Mike, that was pretty funny on his part, because I've seen him run with Guy a number of times. Guy Raymond had a great entry. I mean, he had an extended entry talking about how he went and ran with his friend, and his friend won, and he was second. And from that point on, he was hooked, and he ended up becoming an expert of 4s and 6s, 8s, and small trucks and light trucks, and just went through all this stuff, and he got right down. He was right down to the final 4 in the running. Yeah. He got really deep down, and I thought that was a really good entry. Eric Remington had 3 people enter submissions on his behalf, which I thought was said a lot to the respect that Eric has in Western New York and in the Dunkirk area. Alan McNeil submitted one for Eric, talking about how Eric sponsors heavy hitter trophies and gives the money back to charities. He talked about how Eric worked real close with Team Brennan, and we showed the picture at Brennan's birthday party where he got the roof sign. It was remarkable. Really good dude. Good submissions, good content. Matt Gaskin Sr. submitted one on behalf of his son, and this ended up being the runner-up. A very, very hard decision to make, but just a really, really heartfelt entry from Matt Gaskin Sr.
I didn't even think. I couldn't think it. I mean,
he told it. Matt Sr. wrote this on behalf of Matt Jr. and talking about how when Matt Jr. was 4, his mother took him into the grandstands, and Matt Jr. was crying because he was part of the team and he should have been in the pits, and he wanted to go run with his dad, and that was really cool. And at 21 years old, a couple feature wins under his belt. Got a win last year. Finally killed off that Monte Carlo. I think it was a Monte Carlo that he's had for a while. Finally killed that thing off, and he's trying to make a name for himself, and he did a really, really outstanding job. There's another gentleman, I don't remember the name, he made a submission talking about how he was from down in Alabama, and he wanted to come up, and he was going to keep the sign and go down to the Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee area and continue to run the sign. There was another guy who talked about his 13-year-old crew chief, and one guy was talking about how he submitted all of the money that he gets from Demolition Derby goes back to the Make-A-Wish Foundation or Foundations for Cures and stuff like that, which was really cool.
But
the one that won, it read, to me, no driver is better than another. They're just luckier. They have the money. Let me get that swapped over. When you have money, skill, and a nice shop, you can build a hell of a car. Unlike himself, he never had a fancy shop or even a pad to build on. It was just the grass in the backyard, and he tried his hardest to wow the crowd every time that he ran. It's more about the fame than the money. Friends always used to joke with him that he stopped taking track shots because he's only taking himself out. He's never won a compact heat. He's only won a couple of best of shows and truck demos. And when he found out about Kings of Old School, he told his buddy that he's running this year to go out there and make a name for himself. And he's already put more money into this car than he has any other car, the previous 10 that he's run. He grew up in a Demolition Derby family. He's loved every part of it, every facet of it since he was a kid. And it's all that he breathes. If he's selected, he promises to do the best of his ability to represent all the different programs to the fullest. either way, you're going to see him there doing what he loves, making junk and getting famous. We're going to see him on the track, and that's Don Dillenberg coming away. Just the way that he wrote that, there wasn't any contingencies on it. There wasn't any clauses. There wasn't any strings attached. He says, look, I'm coming to Kings of Old School one way or the other, and I'm going to go put on a show. And he's never ventured outside of his home area. And
where's he from, Chris?
He's from the Dunkirk area.
Okay.
Yep, from Dunkirk area. Drives a 00 car. Well, he likes to drive the 00 car. Doesn't always get the chance to. And Don really did a good job at conveying himself there. He's going to be running in the compact division, so we're going to have to resize the numbers a little bit smaller. But it's not a big deal. But congratulations to Don Dillenberg. Thank you so much to everybody who sent submissions in. It was,
there was some great stuff.
It was hard. It was real hard to pick one.
There was some great stuff, without a doubt.
And Don Dillenberg again coming away with that. Todd Height, excellent submission. Guy Raymond had a good submission. Mike Smith. I mean, I can't even. There was I think there was a Foster from down in Pennsylvania that sent one in, and the Goins. We talked about the Goins. We mentioned their entry. You guys didn't know it was the Goins. They're the one that came up and ran Black Rock.
Yeah, it's funny because when you sit there and listen to the entries, at least myself, I mean, I was listening to entries and
you're trying to connect dots. You're trying to figure out who it is.
a lot of them I could connect dots with, and you know what? They're honest entries. I mean, nobody's trying to bullshit anybody on this. They're honest entries and really wanted to portray, the right thing about it. And like Chris said and Brian said, super, super hard. I mean, they were all awesome entries, and it's one of them decisions you got to make,
And it was a split room too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a split room.
Yep.
Ben and I were both, swaying hard one side, and then we ended up talking about it a little more, and then Brian and I were kind of on the same page, and then at one point Brian and Ben were both kind of 2-on-1, and then we had narrowed it down to the last two, and we had to take a vote, and Don Dillenberg ends up coming away with that package. So Don, we'll be in touch here in the next day or so, get some of your stuff together, get some mailing addresses, and find out exactly what you want the numbers to say, because he registered under 00. So we got to get all that squared away.
I've seen another 00 run down there and do all right on occasion.
Yeah.
I don't remember Josh running 00.
Well,
Brett Relier ran the 00.
He has once or twice.
It didn't even register in my mind until you said that.
Really?
Nope.
No.
When we were talking about Don Dillenberg, and no, it didn't. It didn't click at all. There was one guy who was looking forward to running against Josh Decker and Brett Relier, which was interesting because those guys aren't running at that show. I mean, unless you're going to flag with them.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And Jeremy Gully sent one, and I don't remember for sure what it said, but I got a good laugh out of Jeremy's as well.
Pretty much a ball busted one.
Yeah.
Yep. So
that's cool.
So Brian, how long before you get an RC car?
There's 2 Traxxas cars sitting at the house right now, but they have the big Monster Jam tires on them, and
you can swap those out.
Absolutely. It's I wouldn't mind wrecking some stuff with an RC car. Cheaper. I can drive to North Carolina in January to do it. Be a nice family vacation.
First of all, there's a huge mistake that you just made. First of all, I'm pretty sure that you're not driving to North Carolina. You're going to wait for me to go, and you're going to ride.
Well, I would wait for the crew to go. Hopefully, better Josh drives, because Chris makes me nervous when he drives. I'll drive. That's not a big deal. I drove when we went to Minnesota.
It's true.
I did.
True.
I drove out there.
And it was strange on the way home. In the snowstorm, my minivan didn't spin the wheels once. However, in Minnesota on dry roads and 35 degrees, that thing couldn't get traction for anything.
I was a little more conservative on the way home from Syracuse.
We went back to return the rental car, and they wondered what all the black marks on the sides were. And I said, "Oh, that's for the rubber that was flying where it used to be on the tires."
We had the extra insurance, man. You got to get your money's worth.
Yeah. Josh Buell's hurt. He thought that he misunderstood it. I said that his was the worst, and I shouldn't have said that, because his wasn't the worst.
I'm pretty sure you were busting chops.
Is he developing feelings
he's
too?
Upset.
He's developing feelings like Josh.
He's softening. He's softening because he's got that baby on the way.
No.
That was actually reason number 3 why he was supposed to win.
Oh yeah.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting right now. My phone should blow up.
What's the live views look like? Somewhere between 1 and 100.
Yeah, we're flirting right around. It looks like we're flirting right around 60 right now.
That's not bad.
Nice.
Not bad.
Hopefully it helped those guys out there in Virginia.
That's awesome. That is a hell of an idea. Yeah. Really is.
Yep. All to avoid an insurance policy.
Yeah.
Imagine if reduce mine now.
Imagine if you could put them on like a big ring, get like 100 of those cars in there. That would be incredible.
What?
Huge ring and put like 100 RC cars there. Just let them eat.
If you watch some of them videos.
Oh, a big ring. I thought you were saying big rig. Because I was gonna say there's video. Like you're gonna
you put 15 of them in a ring, and it's like trying to watch a hockey game without the lines on the thing.
I saw the one original one way back in like January. And that's when I saw that. And I said something to Chris, but I didn't. I didn't know they
shared that one too.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had their own. Now that I have their own page, I'm gonna definitely check it out. I think it's awesome.
Tons of stuff.
They got
I thought you were saying big rig.
No, like bigger cool. Ring.
Yeah, we established what you meant.
With 100 cars.
Got it. Gotcha. What I thought you were saying was a big rig, so that you show up, you tow everything down there, and then you unload like a 1/8 scale 18-wheeler, which exists. There's videos on Facebook of those, with a car hauler bed on it, and you just line up all the derby cars on it, and then you drive that across the parking lot to where the pit is, and everybody stands there, mouth agape, jaw on the ground, saying, "Oh, those must be the guys from New York."
That would be cool to do.
Which is where I thought you were going with it, because then you'd finish it by saying, "Chris, make it happen."
Chris, make it happen.
There's what I... Now we're on the same page.
All you got to do is give Pete Hansen the rules.
Yeah, give Pete the rules.
He'd show up with what you just described. Because he'd have guys machining parts and everything
absolutely.
Because he's that cutting edge on builds.
The gas-powered Redline RC motor.
Yeah, I was going to say, Redline RC motor.
I'd like to put a gas motor in one of those.
Which has actually got 8 cylinders, which actually has...
You can have the mini-scale small block Chevys. They got people making them real small ones. Stacks, everything. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
It would be cool.
I think I'll go home and tell my kids that there's RC cars they can demo. They'll be like, yeah, let's go.
So, yeah, we've been doing it, Dad, for years.
Yeah, that's no doubt.
That's the thing. It's like I had a Davey Allison and a Richard Petty RC car that I had derbies in my kitchen all the time.
See that right there? Yeah. I had the remote control General Lee car, and I don't know how many times I ran it down a set of flight of stairs, or ran it into the cupboards, or ran it into my sister's feet, or whatever. You know, you're smashing shit for years. Now you can get paid for it.
Perfect. Can't go wrong, right?
Make junk get famous.
That's right. One way or another.
Or infamous.
Infamous. I don't think anybody's infamous. Tommy Dowd maybe.
I gotta make a mold now.
Tommy Dowd is back full bore working again, I believe. Now we got a thaw. There were some pictures of him up and going.
Yeah, they're
like the construction guys.
What mold are you alluding to?
Well, body mold.
Okay. Do you need to take that so you have someplace to start from?
No, it's gonna be no.
Do you know what goes on in his mind?
Yeah,
he's already months ahead of that. Come on now.
Well, what do you think? Should we get out of here? We cover everything.
Chris, I don't want to put you on the spot, but who wins the mod show in Owenston, Kentucky?
The mod show?
Yeah. Right now, who wins it?
I kind of got to go with Daryl Monroe.
Not having a bad stretch of luck.
No, he's been doing really well.
Yeah,
and you know he's on the list. He's supposed to be there. We know we can build a good car. We've seen him run remarkably well. You know, he's in the midst of a pretty good streak. I
think he's in trouble.
I know Ben's got another opinion on this.
I think Ben's
with insider trading information. I got to assume.
I think Ben's thinking the money may go back to Ohio.
Yeah, possibly.
With who?
Possibly. I'm not.
With who? That's what I thought.
We're
not allowed to talk about it.
The other night I went down to Josh and hung out for a while and watched him work on his Y-frame or some, and we got talking and may have worked up a little bit of a plan for the stock show. We'll see how things go.
The stock show where?
Friday night, Owenston, Kentucky.
Okay.
See how things go. So.
Oh, good.
He's got some things working and some stuff thinking, and cars coming along. His Y-framer's looking pretty good, coming along well. So we'll see how it goes.
Josh Buell says that hurt, and he's very sensitive. On that note, I think
just have another beer, Josh.
Anyway. He's made it a couple weeks without having any extended vacations. Good for you, Josh. We're proud of you.
Way to jinx it. Way to ruin it.
Well, he's got to have some time off to get to go back to building full time.
Well, he's got to get some time off so he can finish his RC car. I got to assume. Well, next week I think we're gonna have Matt Ertman on again next week. and we got an open spot yet to fill, and I'm not for sure how we're going to come together with that one. I know there's a bunch of people that have expressed some interest in trying to make it work. The 30th, actually, when I talked to Ed, we were talking about doing it last week, and he said the 30th was going to work better for him. Gave him a little bit more time, and worked out great. It was a good show. A lot of fun talking to those guys. We appreciate Josh and Ed appearing, and go look up DeMoo Demo Derby, DEMOO, and JMW Motorsports Incorporated. It's got all the links to everything else on Facebook. If you want to track any of those guys down, you can find it there. That is going to do it for us. We appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with us, and we will see you right back here again next week.
The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, the 2015 Bash for Cash and Smash It Demolition Derbies, Bull Lockwood Motorsports, and the 2015 Keystone National, Scioppa Racing and ScioppaRacing.com, and Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc.